All right, most people fail at fitness because of one thing, because they rely on motivation too much. And for most of you, since you clicked on this video, motivation is probably not really working for you, is it? I mean, I've been training for like around 8 years doing calisthenics, and I don't really get tired or burned out, and I work out consistently. So why is that? Well, it's not really because I'm more disciplined, I would say at least. I think it's more so due to the fact because I make it easier for me to show up. So today, after a little bit of thinking, I made the exact mental framework that I use for me to stay consistent, avoid burnout, and actually see progress in the long term. So without further ado, let's get it. Okay. If you take this framework and apply it, I guarantee you'll be consistent and make progress. So number 1, find your motivator. Number 2, make it low effort. 3, start with your strengths. Number 4, use the checkpoints. And number 5, remember to stay consistent over perfect. All right, so here's what we're talking about. All right, step number 1 is to find your motivator. And another word for motivator, which I like better, is finding your why. And trying to answer this question right here, what am I running towards and what am I running against? It's a very easy way to put it. I started at the age of 11 because I was a skinny kid worried about middle school. And at first, I actually trained to change how others saw me, which is an extrinsic motivator, because I'm worried about how others are perceiving me. But extrinsic motivation, the problem with that is that it fades away over time and it's not very good for the long term. So it's good to have an extrinsic motivator in the beginning, but over time, it's no good. So we gotta get into that intrinsic motivator, which is more so what actually keeps you going, or other words, yourself. Because what actually keeps you going in the long run is how you see yourself. Does it up my self-esteem? For me, now I work out for the pleasure of it. I already am where I want to be in terms of my physique. It's no longer an issue for me. Yes, I do want to progress into higher exercises in the future, doing plank push-ups and whatnot with ease. But in reality, every gym session, in terms of my short term, is fueled just by the fact that I seek pleasure out of that dopamine boost that you get when you exercise. So what is your real reason for training? Be honest with yourself. Now, okay, so step 2 is to make it low effort. Okay, so what do I mean by that? And the best way that I can really get this across to you is ask yourself, really, who am I? What have you been successful in the past? Trying to analyze where you've actually succeeded in something and seeing how you actually did that. Now for me, most things that I've ever accomplished in my life have been done very messily. I'm a very messy person and I can't follow strict schedules. That's just who I am. So now instead of building a rigid routine, which most people end up doing and spending all this time researching, I just make sure that I hit push, pull, legs each week in no specific order really, and I just pick whatever I feel like doing. And this keeps it simple so that I really just never skip. So if you have more of an ADHD, mentality, then transfer that into your routine and make it an ADHD routine. And it sounds stupid, but it's actually pretty effective. Now, if you're a very strict person, you like the rules, then make a strict freaking routine. Because you know that works for you, do it that way. And you're not resisting against yourself. If I am this way right here. So if I'm making this schedule, then it's not gonna work. It's not gonna cross over very well now, is it? It's very simple working out, very simple. In reality, just for the simplicity of explanation, all you really have to do, work out 3 times a week, once legs, one day you do push, which is gonna be your push-ups, your push muscles, which is tricep, chest, shoulders, all this. And you have a pull day, example, obviously pull-ups or rows, things like that, which target your back, biceps, you know, your traps, whatever, basically every muscle in your back, whatever it may be. All you have to do to set up a routine is pick 3 effective workouts that target some muscles that you want to work out on each of these days, and go to the gym, go to your home, wherever you can work out, and do it. It's very simple. Now we're kind of contracting the scope here. Now step 3 is to play to your strengths. When you're starting a workout, try to understand what you enjoy to do the most, basically. Like what is your strength in terms of exercising? If you like cardio the best, if you like stretching, you find that easier, then start with that. Start whatever you feel is easiest so that you can really get a jump start into that workout routine. Starting with your weaknesses makes training miserable. And for example, my strength is cardio. It's very easy for me, so I always start workouts with a little bit of light stretching and a short run or jump roping to ease into the hard stuff. Now, once I'm moving, it's way easier to push through. It's way easier to push through into my strength training, which I find slightly more difficult, but still fun. And then into progression training, where I practice handstands and things like that. Progression training, just progressing into harder exercises. Now, the next step is step 4, which is follow the checkpoints so you don't get lost. It's important to scale little by little into your main goals. So let's say my main goal is to do a handstand right here. I have to understand each of the exercises that goes in between where I am now to the handstand. So this is actually how I progressed into calisthenics. And obviously there are more exercises that go in between these, which I can maybe show you in my workout library in my community that I'm trying to start. But this is basically the basics. So my first goal was to get to 30 push-ups, then to get into a 1-arm push-up here, then frog stand, and then a handstand. Finally, and then obviously you get into handstand push-ups, pike press handstands, and a bunch of other complex moves, plank push-ups, etc. This is all for push day right here. This is push day progressions. Now for pull, first goal is to get to 20 pull-ups, then to 20 row pull-ups, then to the front lever, holding it for around 8 seconds, and then muscle up. And this is for pull day. Now for legs, obviously there's a lot more that goes into it, which I could explain in further videos, but just for the simplicity of it, we're gonna say 20 Bulgarian split squats in the beginning. We're gonna progress into a pistol squat and then progress into a dragon squat, which are very crazy progressions. But if you know what goes in between your goal setting, then you know what you're chasing all the time. You have a roadmap and it's easy to never feel lost. And we all know that getting into the unknown is always the hardest part of starting your journey or starting a new journey. And number 5, consistency always beats perfection. The easiest way isn't always the most effective. We all know that, but it is more sustainable. Now, if you try to force a plan that doesn't fit for you, you'll quit. But if you build a system that works for your natural tendencies, you'll keep going always, and that's what leads to the results, okay? And the thing is, usually it's how you start. It's jump starting. That first week, that first month, that first 6 months of training. And while we're progressing, we're picking up more things. We're learning in that process and becoming more and more effective the more that we're working out. And obviously you have me to help you out. Anyways, hopefully this helps you out a little bit when it comes to structuring your routine and staying consistent in the long term. If you want to see more of these videos, then hit subscribe, hit like, whatever. And if you don't like this video, then hit dislike and never come to my channel again. And like I mentioned before, I am trying to start a personal training group over in this platform called School. So if you want to maybe pre-apply, then there's a link in the description and in the comment section below. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.